Hi, my name is Benjamin Moser. I graduated from Brown in 1998, which is almost 25 years ago. It'll be 25 years ago this May. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I studied Portuguese and why I think you should study Portuguese, why I think it was such a useful thing for me. There's a lot of reasons you'll hear about studying languages. They're kind of woo-woo, Earth Mother, kind of, it makes you a better person. It expands your horizons. It does this and that. That's all completely true. But I want to talk to you just on a very practical level about the reasons why it was so useful for me, surely professionally and not even personally. Because you hear a lot about STEM classes being useful and all this. Well, I happen to study Portuguese just because I did. I have no background in Portuguese or Brazilian background at all. I happened into this class just because I dropped this other class and I ended up doing it. And it's become the absolute foundation of my professional career. I'm a writer. I've also worked as an editor, as a translator, as a journalist. None of that would have happened without Portuguese. And why is that? I think there's two reasons. First of all, if you are American or English speaker, it seems a little bit random maybe to study a language like Portuguese, but in fact, a lot of people might know French or Spanish or something like that, but very few Americans or few English speakers speak Portuguese. They don't speak Korean, they don't speak Serbo-Croatian, they don't speak, Turkish. These are actually the languages that are more useful from a professional perspective because not that many people speak them. And so it kind of makes you a little bit sexier, a little bit more interesting to have this kind of unusual skill. And it's a skill that a lot of humanities people aren't going to necessarily acquire. Humanities is often theoretical. It's often, about literature, and it's about things that are kind of hard to translate, I guess you could say, into a practical skill. But a language is a very practical skill. I mean, it's very solid. And one of the reasons that you should do it in college is that you have the time. Later it becomes hard to acquire languages because you just have too much other stuff to do and you don't have the class structure that your university can give you. But it is something you can actually learn. I mean, if you spend 2 to 3 years studying a language, some are harder than others, and you work hard at it and you go study abroad or something, you will learn that language and it'll be with you for the rest of your life. And it's something that nobody can take away from you. And it's something that will take you in directions that you really can't expect or anticipate. And so it's actually something that I had a little bit of trouble explaining this to my parents back in the day. Why am I studying Portuguese? But now, it's so obvious that it was the best thing I ever did. Isn't that weird? I still kind of think about it. I can't imagine my life without it. So I'm happy to talk to anyone about this, or to your parents if they're creating difficulties. It's just a very practical skill on top of everything else that it will give you. So I encourage you to do it.